At Kyocera, we
Hi, hey guys, we should be live in a moment. Just gotta change some data. So, today we're making Widowmaker from Overwatch in Unity C#. So we're wrapping up most of what we've done in the previous few lives. Okay, right. Hey, what's up? What's up, guys? What's up, Android Boss? What's up, EO Games? Sachin, and the guy with the weird, very long name that has pizza in it. So, same project as usual. Here it is. Oh, not the time to spam me on Facebook. I think I tried doing something yesterday, but I actually got into some kind of crash. Hey, what's up, Mr. Random? Let me quickly revert to what I had, so we can go back to a working state and I can show you a little bit of what happened. So pretty much just cleaned up my state. I cleaned up the input manager. And let's see, we're gonna remove the parameters in here. So it looks the same as usual, it always looks the same. We're not gonna have new art anytime soon. But here it is, so lower sensitivity as well, I felt like it was much needed. And now we have our hook that we throw. And once it collides, we get the state that pulls us. So this is actually a hook and we have to wait until it does collide, just like in the real game. Now I gotta also cast it in front of me when I'm not hitting anything right now. I'm actually spamming shift. But we're not seeing the visual, so that's a problem. But we still need to send it anyway. And here's that one. If you realize over there's the sphere, it's still there, so we gotta remove it. But for that to happen, I need to know about the sphere. The way my code is set up right now, my action does not send me the projectile information, so I can't remove it like that. Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, make a tutorial in on Unity multiplayer. Of course, that's something like I told you we're working on. Hello from Pakistan. Hey, what's up again? Good to see you once more, Muhammad. Hello, hello. Yes, doing great. It's a very good Saturday morning for me. I do have a little bit of work to get in later on this evening, but until then, I am free to do a little bit of coding. So let me just answer to my friend right here. And we're gonna have a look. So multiplayer would be fun to do, but I'd have to go play around in my settings, in my router settings, so we could have something working. I was googling a little bit earlier about Luxcoin. I got a little bit of mining machines on my end and decided to mine this instead. So I'll close that. Let's see. doing great, man. FPS for Android. FPS for Android is a weird one. I mean, it's the same thing as an FPS for standalone. The only difference is, you know, you're going to be using your touch input. Oh, and also the controls are going to be awful. So, Justaloni said, will this have a third-person model as well? We do have a third-person camera. It's not tweaked right now to like, be any good. But if you have a look over here on the third cam, I can put that one in solo. And we have this kind of control. Oh, there we go. We have this kind of control, And the only problem here is we do have a crosshair. Of course, you don't really want to have the crosshair in that case. But it works just fine, right? A little bit laggy right now because I'm using OBS. OBS overrides a couple of my settings. But it's there, it's just like, I don't think we're going to be using it anytime soon. And just like in Overwatch, there is sometimes that you are in third person, so when you're using, say, Reinhardt, the shield guy, the big shield guy, he goes in third person, so we need to be able to support it. And therefore, we are going to have some camera that does that as well. So he says, Muhammad says, how about using photon networking? It's easy and also more reliable than other network. I really love photon. Photon is really great. The only issue is that it's paying, and it's not just paying, it's actually expensive as well. So it's not a solution that could be widely adopted by the user on this channel, people that watch. So I'd rather go with something like Unet. It's gonna be a little bit harder to set up. It's not like not everything is made for you, but hey, it's free. So let's have a look. I'm gonna open up my multiplayer project. Also, I want to determine a couple of things that I want to get done today. Mohammed says, will you make a tutorial on Spider-Man-like control? Well, we had those Spider-Man-like controls before I introduced the hook. We used to be able to just like go from one place to another just by shift clicking, but now we have to wait until the ball actually hits the wall, like until the hook actually hits the wall. What we could do, however, is like put the cooldown of this thing. So if we go on base ability right now, I think I put it on default. Say we put that on 0.5, right? You could technically do a Spider-Man thing with this. So go here and then there, and you just play around with that. It's the same thing as Spider-Man, man. But my map is really not meant for this kind of action, though. There we go. Do I sell asset in Unity? No, we don't sell anything anymore. Everything went open source recently because I just got tired of dealing with sales and dealing with people that would pay and then do a refund and then they still have the asset, you know, that kind of deal. I just got tired. Everything went open source, and now I'm raising funds through Patreon, basically. But it's not like we do need funds. Everything that I do raise is just to go towards debt. You know, because who doesn't want to get out of debt? But we don't need it. Like we're fine. Mr. Kraft says, how do you think of game ideas? I steal them. I just steal them. Let's see. Okay, let's do something. There is one thing that's left to do with this hook. It's really just the end of the phase, like this part over here. Say we aim a little bit down, then we fall off. This is not what happens in Overwatch. Actually, in Overwatch, they're actually going to make it so when you cast something, say, where I just cast it, let's find our raycast. Here it is on the right hand side. So instead of actually sending the hook towards this direction, like where my cursor is, it's gonna hook it up here. And that's something they do automatically, I think. I don't want to advance myself too far on this. I'm just gonna boot an instance of this on the side. Yeah, it's actually cool, right? So like the Spider-Man thing is actually fun. Maybe we could do something with that. But the only problem here is that your current live stream are not available on YouTube, so I want to make that type of control for mobile. Yeah, you're correct, they're not available for YouTube. I do plan on making a video on every single hero once they're completed, so we're trying to complete Widowmaker as soon as possible, right? And it's gonna take a while since it's our first champion, and since it's the first champion, we need to have some basic stuff in place. We need to determine like what kind of structure we'll be using. We need to determine a couple of things. So the first one's gonna take a while, but as soon as we have the right structure, as soon as we have everything in place, I don't think they're gonna take so long to produce, and then we can go over how the hook has been done, how we can recreate it, and that kind of deal. So I'm gonna have a look again. I'm always booting Overwatch on the side. I need to have a reference, like a constant reference. Also, the game looks very pretty. Okay, so assuming that I aim below, like say over there. Yeah, so they do take my hook and they put it like higher than it should be, because I'm aiming, say, right over here, but they put my hook over there. So I'm wondering if we want to have something like that. I don't know these songs. I'm just playing random playlists. Let's try the lowest points over there. Yep, it's still gonna do it. Hey, what up, Zaki? I love it. The same people tune in all the time. Good morning. Exactly, it's morning here. Okay, so my whole casting is inside of the ability. So over here, this is where I cast. Now, what would be great is that I take this, the hook point, and the wall normal. I'd actually take, no, not even. What would be great is over there. When I do my screen point array, I actually change it so it's higher on the model. Yeah, snapping, right? It's toggleable, it's... Oh wait, is it? So I think Jarv just said something where you can actually change that. It's not built in. So let's find the controls for Widowmaker. I'm trying to find the hero specific menu, which is somewhere in there. Oh, hero, here it is. Grappling hook sensitivity. So maybe that's it. So if I just put that on, say 10. Why do I keep hitting Windows button? I don't know, man, that's just what I do. Yeah, so you are right, I actually removed that, like we're in sensitivity 10 right now. Hey, that's good to know. That's actually quite good to know for my own... see? We didn't even make it there. Yeah, no, that's actually quite good. Might help me in some of my games, even though I don't really play Widow anymore in ranked. See, I suck. Well, rest in peace. So, I'm gonna find out. Yeah, maybe not the snapping just yet. Maybe we want to do that a little bit later on. But when we do want to do that snapping, oh, I earned some silver. I will be putting it somewhere here. So, shall we snap the hook to the highest point? And I like to put double $sign. That's for me. When I'm done releasing a project, I always do a search all, like this. Like do double $sign. And if I find stuff in there, it means I have to go back. So, what does N3KEN mean? N3K has been my gamer name. Actually, my gamer name has been Nurkmine, N3RKMIND. I decided to shorten that to N3K, and then the EN is for English. Because when I first started doing YouTube here, I did two kind of channel. I tried to do two channels at once. So I have N3KFR as well, which is French, my native language. That didn't turn out so good. By the time I had 100 subscribers on my English channel, I had about 4 or 5 in French, and then by the time I had 1,000 subscribers in English, I had 50 in French. So I told you, like I gave up on the French one. Why do I not use to-dos? Everybody works differently, man. I don't like doing to-dos. I just like to go with the flow and get nothing done. Okay, I want to have that little boost, that little jump when it's the end of the grappling hook. So right now what we do is we only take the direction in between you and the hook point. That's fine. Let's also put a I also want to be putting a immunity time in there. Immunity time could be 0.5, so for 0.5 second we are forced to be into that, like to be in of, we are forced to be in that state. And now we're gonna need to know something else. We need to know the wall input. You're so talented, man. I'm actually quite shit. I just do stuff. Are you French? I am French Canadian, which is I guess some kind of subset. Okay, so sorry, I skipped your question, Pidrell. Have you ever heard about design patterns? Yes, of course. There is a couple of things in game. Actually, there is a lot of design pattern in games. The one I use the most, like the one we're actually working on actively right now, is this state machine. So that's a design pattern. I'm also using a singleton in this one, but I'm not so proud of saying so. Like, singleton doesn't have the best view. A couple of people don't like religiously don't like singletons, but we're using one for this game. This one is the projectile manager, and it's using a singleton. Also, a couple of other ones you want to have. You could have factory. You could have. I would just do a search, man. To be honest, there's a lot of them. I love to create a game in my channel, but I don't speak English. Hey, just don't. If you, there's a lot of other audience out there. Can you do more Android and iOS game tutorial like your Stack game? And are you the creator of Stack? I am not the creator of Stack. I just decided, I woke up one day and I said, yo, there's this game that's up on the Play Store, let's just recreate it because it's so easy to do anyway. So don't mistake me for like the creator of Stack. I just made a clone in less than 2 hours. Okay, so back to this. I need to get the wall vector. The wall vector is actually stored in my Eero right now, and I'm wondering. Yep, we do have the Eero. So what we have over here is what we call the base Eero. However, the base Eero doesn't know that it has a hook normal, because that is inside Widowmaker, and Widowmaker is a base Eero. So we're gonna have to cast this thing here as Widowmaker first, like this. Oh, actually, hero.hook normal. Oh, we have to wrap it again. Yep, let's wrap it again. .hook normal. There we go. Let's try this again. So we're gonna be stuck for 0.5 seconds in that state. Okay, so we got the hook normal. As you can see, the hook normal actually takes us, well, it's the normal of the wall, right? So if you shoot it here, we're gonna be pushed like that, and we do that for 0.5 seconds. So definitely not what we need. We can do a minus on that, so we go forward. The only problem is that we're still not getting the upward velocity that we need in this case. Okay, let me catch up on this on the chat a little bit. So, are you planning to make a tutorial for VR in the future? It's so hard to like. It's not hard to make a tutorial for VR. The only problem is making people understand that if I make it, like say this video game right now we're making, that turning it into VR is easy. Like, I'm not gonna make a tutorial on how to make a VR game. I'm gonna make a tutorial on how to make, say, this game, and then I'll make a tutorial on how to add the VR Google, the VR Googles, or classes or whatever it is, because that's all it takes. Like it's the same thing. Unity has it so easy. Everything is the same. You're gonna need a couple of different mechanics, maybe a little rigid body that you can grab stuff around with your hands and that kind of deal. So, would you like to make a tutorial on Clash of Clans like games? Hell no. Hell no. That's gonna take me ages. That's really gonna take me ages. Do you have an idea how to create separate DLLs which are not visible in Unity, but you can use them as helper classes? I mean, you would, yeah, compile them. So in Visual Studio or whatever in your project, compile them and put them in the plugin folder. Oh, wait, you don't want them to be visible by Unity. Oh, well, they have to be somewhere, right? The only way I see it happening is if you put it on in your plugin folder, but then they are gonna be visible by Unity. How long does it take to get on your level in Unity? I hate to say it, it takes about 6 weeks. If you're constant, it takes about 6 weeks. I'm actually not good with Unity, especially not now. I just came back like 2 weeks ago. So, okay, we were here. We said hook normal. We have to go negative. But I also want to make sure that I get that little bump over here. So you see the motor vertical velocity? I got that bump, which is exactly what I needed. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe I'm gonna do 3. Now, my problem with this is that we're not going up, so we're never actually affecting this thing upward. So I'm gonna go see how I do it in the jump state. So where's my jump state at? Because my jump state takes me higher, right? It makes me a little bit, makes me go up. So first off, we kill a vector. That I don't think we need to do in this case. We apply the speed. Nope. Apply gravity. Yep, in that case we'll need that. And influence air velocity. Let's also put that. Okay, we're gonna use this. Let's see. So have you tried Go.3? It has C# support now. I have not tried Go. But I only heard good thing about it. Plus the license is free, so that's something really inviting. I personally, I can't recommend something I haven't used, but through other people, I think it's a good engine. Through hearing what other people have to say. You ignore my question about Go.s? No, sorry, I just read the text in a weird order. So let's see. Do you make commercial games? Are they available in the Play Store? No, I don't really make commercial games. I got a couple of games available in the Play Store, but they're not fun nor commercial. It just looks simple, but in reality it is not. What are you talking about, Pika What? How to create DLL in Unity. Open Visual Studio, create a new class, add Unity Engine as a reference, write script, and build it. Yep, drag and drop it in Unity, but you have to be in the plugin folder though. I struggle a lot designing UI in Unity. Those rectangle and anchor are so much confusing. I guess I have to practice a lot. Any tips and advice for responsive UI design in Unity? The only tip I can give you, we all suffer from the same thing. Like, no lie, everybody suffers from the same problem when they're making a game for phones, because phones can be wide, phone can be tall, phone can have different resolutions, some phones are square. You have to choose, like, right away what resolution you're going to be building for, and you stick with that one. Like, you stick with that one and then you test on other devices. So what I usually do is, I put my build settings on Android, then when I have that, I go under my display and I pick a landscape. I pick the biggest landscape resolution or the biggest portrait resolution, and then I just make everything tiny in there. So on tiny phone it looks big, and on big phone it looks small. But I'm not gonna lie that I'm gonna have troubles with that for the rest of my life, probably. There's no easy way to go about making UI that is responsive for every single devices. There is, but it's case per case, is what I'm trying to say. Oh yeah, PK buttons. Yeah, no, making a Clash of Clans, even though it's a simple version of Clash of Clans, is not easy. However, I did make a simple version of Pokemon Go that I still have somewhere in my hard drive, I think. What is it? I'm just wondering because I put a lot of stuff in my archives that I never see again. So do I have it here? Nope. Is it in the... Oh, yeah, right here. Go. Okay. So this one comes with a PHP project, which is the reason why I didn't really want to make a video about it, because it has like a whole web server behind it, and my web isn't good. So I was kind of scared of putting that out there, knowing how shitty my web was. But it has everything we need. So the GPS, we create a whole map. So this whole map is being created. Then we generate every roads, and we spawn them in the game. So it's actually working quite good. Yeah, good point, Misha. Yeah, the contest ends at 8 PM EST, which is in about 10 hours from now. Do I make my own characters for game? I don't. I have a sweet little grill that does that for me. By the way, is she streaming today? Let's find out. Okay, so we have this kind of oh, that was weird. We actually bounced right back. And here we didn't go high enough, so 0.5 second immunity might not be the best case. And then what? We don't go high enough? Maybe you could actually go high enough. And I understand, I'm sorry about pressing on that Windows key too often. It is what it is. So maybe if we have a bigger vertical velocity of say 7. Oh no, that's bad. What if we do motor air influence is gonna be to a new vector 3 of something like this. I'll give this a try. Can you show the simplest way on how to make a touchscreen input without virtual joystick? I don't know what you mean. Hey, this one was good. Here we go. We did it. Okay, so I'm actually I'm thinking that this is not too bad. I got this like whole moonwalk thing going on, and also I want to see my state. So why is there a moonwalk thing going on? Oh, because we still have the immune time. We'll want to get rid of that. Maybe have an immune time of 0.25, something really small. And I want to make sure that I only change my state if I am grounded. So we're gonna do if motor is grounded, grounded like this. If it is grounded, then we go ahead and we change it to a walking state. Let's go, my boys. Look at the class called Touch. Yep, Touch class, Unity. Look at the documentation. Hey, do you know about enhance.co? You can put ads there without coding. Please give it a try. You can put ads there without coding. Please give it a try. I'm not quite sure what it is. I just have no clue. And I don't really want to put ads on stuff. I already put ads in my video, and I think that's enough. As a dear user of the internet as well, I struggle with ads. Okay, so what we just added right here is to make sure that, say I aim a little bit below the edge over there, I still get on top. Like, we do get that little movement that it goes up on its own. Like, I'm not doing anything there. And we're still able to control a little bit, so that's good. Couple of errors do pop. I think those are action errors. If we go there, it's gonna trigger the on action. Yeah, the on it invoke, so that's my action. So these, I need to do research on my own. I don't want to debug that in front of you, that's gonna be really awful. But I need to do research on my own how they work, because I have to optimize this whole workflow. Reason being, we're using action, and it's pretty much one of the first time I use action, and you know, I have to be doing something wrong. It's the first time I use it, so apparently what I got told by the chat is that it is quite expensive memory wise to use action, so I don't want to do anything stupid. Doing great, Hamid. How are you today? Oh, nice. Okay, so Widowmaker, I think this ability is pretty much over as far as we can tell right now. We have the whole canceling midway working, so if I shoot, I can move, cancel midway, shoot, move, cancel midway. If I just enter the wall like this, I get stuck there for a little while, like for 0.25 second. I think that's annoying, but not groundbreaking at the moment. It's 0.25 seconds where you can't do much, and you can always cancel prior, which is something you do when you're really good at the game. But no, I do understand that if we collide sideaway, and if we're not at the edge of this thing, we're gonna have to find like a way to detect that. If we collide sideaway, we're not right here at the edge, we need to just go back into a falling state as soon as possible. But I think thus far it looks great. We lowered the cooldown as well to 0.5 seconds, so we can do a little bit of Spider-Man. That was just for fun, to be honest. But it's working great. Yep. Now, making this work in third person is really not gonna be possible. So, third person is always reserved for... I'm thinking, who is it reserved for? Who are we actually third personing? Do you guys know which character used third person in Overwatch? I'm wondering, because I know Reinhardt does, but there has to be other ones that do it as well, like... Oh, Doomfist, when he goes into Meteor Strike, he's in third person. Even though he's not really visible, he's in third person. Who else? Because I want to start adjusting my camera for that. So Doomfist when he's in third person. McCree, I think McCree when he's... No, he's not. Never mind. Oh crap, this is actually lagging quite a lot. Why is this so laggy for some reason? I think the Overwatch server are kind of down. Okay, let's try this. So no, we don't go in third person, we just see the ad. So that's not accurate. Zenyatta when he ults, that's a good point. So yeah, Zenyatta when he ults also has this third person. Pharah's never in third. Well, no, not even when she ults. That doesn't work. Maybe Reaper. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. The Junkrat when he has his tire, he's kind of in the third person, but he's also following a tire. So that one's gonna be fun to do, to be honest. Let's see. So we got a couple. Like we need to do the third person. We can't just skip it and call it a day. This has to be done. Man, these servers are so laggy for some reason. Or maybe it's me. So yeah, we are in third person. And then we swap. You know, what I really love about Cinema Machine is that doing the whole transition in between is going to be so easy. Since it's already built in. Um, she doesn't have third person. Tracer doesn't have third person. I think Bastion, no, Bastion doesn't have either. So nobody really has except Doomfist ult, Reaper ult, Junkrat's tire. But I think it's a good update we can still push, so other people that used to have the old version can update, because the old version is really, really old. So let's do that. Kettle says, are you recruiting only Widowmaker? Nope, we're making a structure that's going to be supporting everyone. And that's going to give me a lot of content for my video, a lot of clickbait as well. That's the plan. But no, we're recruiting a couple of people. Like, I love so much champion in this game, like the whole movement flow of them. I really do enjoy, say, every time I play Genji, like the fact that I can run up wall, really enjoy that. Mercy when she's in Valkyrie. Actually, Mercy, something I found out playing her yesterday actually, is that she has like a couple of hidden mechanics with her shift. If you cancel it right away, like, so that's the shift on its own. You shift, you go towards guy, you stop here. But if you cancel it with a double jump like this, you see that? That was messed up. You can actually go much farther than where you're supposed to be. I actually landed here. And the closer you are, the further you go. So if I'm actually really close to the guy I'm healing, and then I'm like, well, I want to go forward, I want to get out of here. You can shift, whoops, I messed up. You can shift and double tap on spacebar and actually go much further. So all of these things are like hidden kind of mechanic that you only find out when you play. So they're actually quite fun. I think they make you a much greater player.
I still have use for you.
So, do you will convert inputs? So are you gonna convert inputs from this game to mobile? I don't think so. I don't think we need to do that, to be honest. What tutorial are coming soon? We're gonna have a couple of review of this state machine coming soon. That's in the near future. In terms of tutorial coming soon, there is something I want to create that I think can benefit both my company I'm working for, and also the channel, it would be a small game, a small mobile game that use the web to do requests on coins. It's basically a game about cryptocurrency. No, that's okay. I'm gonna start over again. It's a game that is affected by the price of cryptocurrency, but it has nothing to do with real transaction, doesn't have to do with real money, but it's being affected by a real factor, and that would be on mobile. So I'd like to make a tutorial about that. I think we can start moving a little bit into the web and the interactive kind of spectrum, and I think that's a good introduction to that kind of deal, right? So maybe even host a little web server next. Finally make that Pokemon Go game on stream or something like that. Alright. Bitcoin Clicker, PogChamp. Yeah, Bitcoin Clicker. No, that's not it. But I think that could be so stupid. Yeah, so you'd be like the miner on your own, and then you'd buy rigs every time. So instead of buying like Cookie Factory and that kind of stuff, you just buy rigs because it makes sense. That's what you do. And then at the end you buy like the super nuclear ASIC, and you reduce the price of your electricity. That kind of deal. That would be quite fun actually, for everybody who's in the space and enjoy that kind of stuff. Okay, so where was I? We were trying to push this. Let's push this. Git add everything, and git commit. What have we done? We've done a couple of things here. Refactored input manager. We added Widow Maker's hook. We added NVK error state. What else have we done? What else have we done actually? Clanny says, I love those streams where you clone game like Stack. Maybe you do one soon. Give me a good game I can actually clone in a small amount of time, and I'll do it. Oh, added projectile base structure. I was gonna leave it at that for now. So did I put? Yep. Git push. So PC Troll Gamer, you have about 9 hours 30 minutes left. What is my error? Keyload public invalid format. How so? What? Okay, but it got pushed through anyway. That's weird. Clone Awesome Note. Those are all big games, guys. Hearthstone. I can't clone Hearthstone. Awesome Note is closer to what we would be able to do, but still there it's a multiplayer game, so we can't do that like in a single session or something. Plus, it's not an easy one to do either. The biggest part, I think, of cloning Awesome Knot is, well, first the tech's gonna take a while, but then the content, it's just gonna take so long, and I'm not good at making art, I'm not good at making that kind of stuff, so. How much time do you think a simple card game like Uno would take to do in Unity with multiplayer via Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, for example? Okay, so if you try to do multiplayer via Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, I think that's gonna take you a very, very long time. And then making the card game, I don't know, roughly, if you want to do it good, roughly 3 weeks. If you want to do it real good. What's the time where you live in? I'm currently at 10:30 AM and I got a meeting on 1. Skyroad, what is Skyroad? Everybody keeps talking about Skyroad, but I keep forgetting. Oh, I played this in the past. It's actually one of my childhood game. I had the... Dude, this is a very We need to clone this. We need to clone this. This is actually one of my childhood games. I had this on the disc, and it was not even the full game. I had a demo on the disc, and I would play it all the time. 1 year before I was born. This was so fun, yeah, and then you didn't touch the red things, and if you just crash into a wall, you just die. And it was, you had to learn the whole level. This was so fun. I'm really tempted to do that now. And I think I was stopped at Blue Planet. I don't know if Blue Planet was part of the demo, but I remember these levels. Like, I remember these levels. And you had this this way, like, you wouldn't be able to move while you're jumping. So if you did a jump, you had to commit to your jump. Like, your jump's gonna take you to where it's gonna take you, and you jump for, like, as you can see, you jump quite high in this game. Oh, that was so fun. You also had places where you could recover your fuel if you stepped in the right color. You guys want to do this? We can do this. I'd be down to do this. I have about 2 hours left. I'm wondering, can we do this for mobile? Yeah, we can probably do this for mobile, right? I mean, the control is not going to be fun, though. Let's make both version a mobile. Actually, we're gonna make this in a landscape game, and since it's gonna be a landscape game, in case we're on mobile, we're gonna add the mobile inputs. Okay, let's do it. I'm down. I'm totally down. You just triggered one of my. You triggered the nostalgia button. So we just pushed this. I wanted to write a readme. So Mohammed says Dune is a really fun game. I think you mean Dune or Dune game. Make clone of Dune. I don't know what Dune is. Okay, yeah, yes, okay, or swipe controllers with 5 roads. I mean, in this game, there ain't roads. Like, there's no lanes. And it made it so much harder as well. If there was lane, this game would have been easy. This is so fun. Accelerometer control to make it challenging. We can do different kind of controls, you're right. Like we done for Glide, but Glide was a little bit, Glide was a little bit based on the fact that you move around with this. Okay, so I'm down. I'm down. Let's close this one. We pushed. We did a little bit of progress today. I just wanted to show you the progress, basically. I don't know why I'm doing this. Let's go. Let's go, boys. We're gonna create a new project. I'm so glad you brought this up, though. Skyroad. I don't know what Dune is, man. Oh, Dune, I think, no, okay, Dune. Not Dune. Like, in terms of difficulty, we can't do Dune, like, that fast. But, we could, however, do Skyroads. So why don't you just hold mouse position so it works on PC and mobile? That's a good plan as well. So let's see, you sent a link in Discord. Some games for clone stream. I'm gonna open these for future reference. Oh no, they're all fucking ketchup games. Yeah, I mean, ketchup games, I'm down. Like, we should be recreating all ketchup games. They give me a lot of views. That's my first, and also they're all easy to do. So we could definitely be recreating them. And the art is simple, so I could technically match that. Yeah, I'm down for that. But today is where we go back in the 1990s and we create Skyroads. Okay, enough hype. Let's just do it. Let's pull ourselves a nice little console. Let's remove this really annoying skybox. our scrapbook's gonna have to be dope. What is this? Spatial mapping wireframe? What? Okay, we're just gonna imagine we didn't see that. Alright, now, hey Muhammad, we're gonna search Dune, like, I promise we're gonna have a look at it, but I really fell for this game, so I think we're gonna do that one. We have to plan it out first, so like, that's something we have to do. Let's do draw.io. And save diagram, don't care, blah blah blah. Let's use this account. Create a new diagram for software. Oh my god, okay. Maybe we won't create a graph. Let's just actually plan this out on our own. Hey, what's up, Bart? Yeah, I know that game isn't like an endless game. It's actually, everything is well thought out and designed. So those are levels you have to do manually, but it's so addicting. So I'm wondering, what do we do here? We could have we're gonna start with the basic menu screen, right? So let's do, I don't know why my mouse is messing up. Let's do that again. There we go. So scenes, we're also gonna need a scripts. We're gonna need a prefabs. And this is gonna be the menu screen. I don't want to spend too much time making the whole design, but you know. So, do you usually do a UML before you start programming? I'd love to be good at doing UMLs. The truth is I don't. The truth is I just jump into it and then I have to restart my whole structure over and over again. I find that whenever I do, like, create a UML, I end up spending so much time that I never get anything done, and when I try to follow my own UML, I realize that there's mistakes in it. So I end up making mistakes anyway, so I decided to just go right into coding and refactor once I'm in the middle of doing something. So how could we store our levels in this case? So we're gonna have different levels. Those levels are gonna be loaded off. I'm not sure. If we do prefab, that's gonna look awful. We could do sub scenes. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna have like scenes. We have game scene, but then inside of game scene, we will be loading another scene after that. So we'll do an additive load, and that's gonna be the levels. So I'll call this one level loader. That's gonna be we could do a singleton out of that for the sake of doing it fast. Level, we're going to create a new scene once more. And you know what? I won't even give them a big name. That's just going to be 1. That's level 1 right here. Okay, for the sake of trying this out, everything in this scene is going to be the level, like nothing else but the level. And I'll be putting a cube object. No light either. I don't want to have lights because the lights are going to be part. Actually, no, you're right. I could do lights. Sceneception is still, no, this is not in Overwatch. This is we're taking a different turn. I got corrupted. We're making a game from my childhood that you probably don't know about. You don't know that one because I was too young for that one, so I believe you were too young as well. Okay, so when you create a scene for something you'll be loading later on in say a endless runner kind of game, you want to be creating towards the forward, and that's always the blue arrow. So I'm not going that direction, I'm not going that direction, I'm always going towards the blue arrow. And make sure you are on the world space when you first look at this, or you could simply like take the Z, look at which direction it goes, and you go in that direction. Alright, that is said. Let's actually scale this in a proper way. What I think I'll be doing is making sure that everything is below the grid, so the player can always be at 0 and Z in Y when he's not jumping. So I'll put that on minus 0.5, and that is, here it is, it's right on there. Let's put that on 0.5 as well. Oh, if I change the size of this thing, it's not gonna work anymore. Let's go in isometric and take a side view. So we need this to be on minus 0.15. Okay. Well, basically, you know, just put it where it belongs. To be honest, it doesn't matter so much. I don't know why I'm spending so much time on this, because we're going to be creating a couple of different levels, and that's probably not, you know, the last one or the first one. We're going to have to change this one, is what I'm trying to say. So let's just do something random like this for now. Fairly simple. I'll copy that a couple of times. There we go. Level 1, guys. The best level. So on my game scene, I will create a level loader object. This one's gonna have the level loader script. Object pooling. Are you going to upload this one to the channel later? Do you think I should? Maybe I should, yeah. I'm wondering if there's a way to cut the whole beginning part of the stream. Okay, yeah, I'll just leave this one on the channel. So level loader, let's go. In level loader, there's going to be a call for when the first scene has loaded. So when the initial game scene has loaded, once we have generated our player. And then I'll be loading the additive scene. So unseen was loaded. Does that one still exist? Do we still have access to the unseen was loaded function? Oh, unlevel was loaded, okay. Wow, that's some nice documentation, boys. So, Fate says, why did you use Overwatch for channel name? Because we were working on some kind of Overwatch clone earlier. We got the Widowmaker in. You can find a link in the description. Second link is the movement state machine. We're currently revisiting Skyroad game from the 1993. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, so let's go back. Unseen was loaded. We're going to use this implementation because this one is deprecated. So we have to use the scene manager again. Scene loaded is a event, and then we add our function. So let's do that. Private void on level change on scene loaded, and in a private void start we're gonna say scene manager. Make sure we import it. Scene loaded plus equal our new function. So why does it not work? Oh, you have to send it. Do I have to send in my I'm just gonna go copy the example. What does it say? Okay, well, scene, and then what was the other parameter we saw? A load scene mode. Okay, load scene mode. There we go. And then at that point, we're gonna need some information. So information about which level we are in right now. Poor Michael has to copy code and it doesn't work. Yeah, I know, right? And then I have to debug it. I have to debug code that doesn't work. It's like my whole life. It does not take a int, it takes a scene, and yep, it does. We figured that out. Let's see. So I also need to tell this level loader, I need to tell him what level to load, and that has to be done from the menu. So I think I'll grab the mono single. Actually, if I grab the mono singleton, that's gonna be awful. I just realized that. So I need data to persist through the menu, and I'm wondering what is the best way to go about it. Like I could keep it in a game manager, because game manager is gonna need to know a couple of things, like the game progress, for example. We could do that. Let me go grab the mono singleton first on GitHub. New script once more. There we go, copy that, put that here, that's fine. Let's create a game manager. That inherits from mono singleton. Keep a couple of things such as private byte array, level progress. That tells you whether or not you completed level 1, 2, or 3. Hey, what's up, Silocash? What does mono singleton does? Well, mono singleton is a singleton pattern, and all it does is that when I inherit from it, it creates a singleton about it. So from now on, I'll be able to say from anywhere in the code, game manager dot instance, and then access whatever I need from that instance. It's meant to be a singleton, and the way it is created is so if I call this and there is no game manager, it's going to create one on its own. So it's going to create one just like this with a new game object, then it adds the type on it, so level loader in this case. Actually no, game manager in this case. And also, if it already exists somewhere in the scene, it will grab it and return that instance to me. So it's just a simple singleton pattern. Okay, so when the scene is loaded, I need to know which level we're on. So I'm gonna go again. Oop, public. Let's make that private. Private int current level to load. Then I'll make a public getter. You know what? Screw that. Everything's gonna be just in a set get. We're not here to make it pretty. We're here to make it work. So when the scene is loaded, I can do game manager instance level to load and get what I need. So in this case, level index, and then we can go ahead and say scene manager load scene, and we are going to load the name level index .toString, because I'll be using that for names. And the load scene mode is the one that's really important. We're going to be doing a additive, so we're going to be adding on top of what we already have. I have used singleton before, but that's way more convenient than I would do. Useful, thanks. Yeah, I really enjoy using mono singleton. It's really easy to use. You can find it if you just Google it like that. It's an implementation that exists for so long within the unified community, and you just inherit from it. Sometimes I get really lazy in the series or in the videos, or sometimes I just don't want to explain the singleton because it's quite a complex pattern for people that don't know code, right? It's the easiest pattern to understand, but it's a hard one if you don't know code, is what I meant. So I just go up here and I do a public static instance, and that's that. But it's not really clean, and people tend to don't understand that either. Okay, so we're loading the level index, which is, you know, if we're on level 1, that's going to be 1, but we convert it to a string, so technically we're loading this scene over here that has, of course, the cubes in it. So we need a couple of things. So create empty, that's going to be game manager. And on it, we are going to make sure we persist through loads. So private void start, don't destroy on load, game object. So we keep this in between scenes. And remember, this is our menu, so what I want to be doing in this case is create a new panel, and everything is really ugly right now. Everything is intended to be ugly. And level selection, why not? Oops, selection. Inside of my level selection, I will be creating a button, a single button for now. We don't need to create the whole thing. That goes to level 1. I'm lagging a bit. So game manager is also going to be acting as our menu manager, right? We're gonna have to redo the whole flow of this thing so it doesn't look too bad. But this one will have a public void load try load level int level. You should add some new mechanics for speedrunners, some kind of way to go through level faster, but hard to do them. Optional routes, of course. That's a good option. It takes a lot more design than it takes code, but I think that's a good option. So try load level. When we try and load a level, we are simply gonna go and look if it's unlocked, which is something I can't do at the moment, and then we'll do a scene manager again. We're loading the scene called the game, but before that, let's make sure that our level to load is actually equal to the one we sent in as a parameter. So just to see a difference, I'll copy over the scene number 1 into a new scene. Call this one 2. And change it a bit so it goes from that to this. So that's level 2 right now. If we are in the menu, we have level 1 and we now have level 2. I'm going to hook these to the game manager like this. So game manager, try load level. We're gonna try and load level 1 in this case, because it has to follow the name of our scenes. Game Manager. Trial level 2. And now if we start this scene, technically we should enter the game scene. Oops, no, never mind, we need to add it to the build settings, my bad. Boom, here they are. Okay, so according to our flow, we should enter the first scene, which is the game scene, and then inside of the game scene, level loader was supposed to be called. Apparently it was not called. Oh, yeah, okay, I see. So what happens is, once we start, we add this event, but this event is never actually gonna do anything because the scene is already loaded by then. So technically we don't even need that, we can just put everything here. Might not be the best flow, but we do end up with something like this. So that's level 1, and in case we click on level 2, we should have the other level loaded. Yep, that's the one with the zigzag in it. I'll actually go grab myself a water real quick, a glass of water, and I will be right back quite soon, guys. I saw your message, PK, but I'm not running away. I wonder if you actually take it out of the chat, does it still... Yeah, it doesn't stay in OBS. Okay. So we got our level loaded. That's a good part. Let's make sure we can also go back to the menu scene. And what's cool in here is that since I'm only putting my levels inside of those scenes and nothing else, well, the light, maybe, but since I'm only putting that, I actually will be adding that here. I will be adding everything that's common to every single levels in the game scene. That also includes the UI, so canvas. Yeah, Subway Skater was easy. This is a lot easier than Subway Skater, like a long time, because we're not doing any stupid in-app purchase and that kind of deal, right? This is something we can complete within the next hour if we focus a little bit. Okay, well, complete in terms of you know, making things work. It's not gonna look pretty, but it's gonna work. I'll put a stupid exit button at the top there. Top left for some reason. Let's make that one 50-50. The whole scaling part is a complete mess at the moment. Just making sure everything works. Yeah boy, that's my exit button. I will call it to menu. Now I'm wondering, do I have to create something? Oh, hold on. Okay. Right. I got distracted a bit. I'm sorry about that. I could call it game UI. So everything that interacts with game UI could go through this script. And in here, I will have the public void to menu function. That simply sends us back to the menu. Now I will face one problem with this, and you will see in a moment what it is. So let me go in under scene manager. We're gonna do a load scene on this thing. We're gonna load. What are we loading? The menu scene, of course. Hey Jarv. Jarv asks, why don't I stream on Twitch? My current Twitch is actually all about games, and if I do stream on Twitch, I'll have maybe like 3 person viewing me, so it's not really efficient for me to stream on Twitch. But I do enjoy Twitch a lot better than YouTube. YouTube is becoming a shithole for a lot of reasons. I'm really afraid that's really all we need right now. Hey, Fun School says hello, bro. What's up, man? What's good? I haven't asked this stream, but what is everybody working on today? I'll be putting my game UI script, by the way, directly on the canvas. I ran into some issues doing that back in the days, but I think they fixed it, where the game UI component would not behave exactly the same way as another thing, but... Ab0 says demonetize. Yeah, no matter what I do, it's gonna get demonetized, so I kind of gave up on monetizing most of my videos, especially live stream. Live streams, there is no way for me to monetize a live stream, because at one point, my voice is gonna be interpreted as something else. And I remember back in the days when I used to make a lot of videos like on YouTube, like once every day, I would have like 50% of my video be tagged by this one group that was like a violin orchestra, and they would say, well, this audio track in your video is mine. I made that through like a violin orchestra thing, but I was just me talking over stuff, and I don't sound like a violin, like nowhere near like a violin. So when I started seeing that, and like all my videos would go demonetized or be on review for the first 3 days because I sounded like a violin according to someone, then it would just make me fucking crazy. Like, I realized that I can't monetize stuff here. I'm gonna get taken down by anybody who's trying to be a dick, I guess. Zidami is copying a game, card game framework for Jarv, and working on some updates. Oh, that's a Saturday for us, boys. That's a Saturday for us. Sometimes Saturday is boring. But I have the chance of not being it boring right now, because we went back into my little nostalgia zone and yeah, I enjoy these. I'm actually loading level 1. I don't know if you guys saw. This is level 1, right? In fact, even level 2. I'm also loading level 1. Why is that? So I'm saying try load level, and then it goes on 2, right? So if I click that, that's odd. That's still my own crypto app since you won't push your change. Well, you know, I think you're doing a good thing creating your own crypto app, because mine is on Unity, and that's not the most efficient thing. I am going to like go back on my crypto app for my own personal affairs, but the fact that you're doing it on Android Studio is so much better. Yours is gonna be better, but I'm just gonna say, you can't turn it into a game. I'm losing monetization with the new 1K subs minimum. Kinda sucks because I made a little bit of money, nothing much, but it helped. ABS 0. Use call to action. It's gonna sound stupid, but if you ask people to subscribe, they will. I've experienced this firsthand. Let me pop out your channel real quick. Oh my god. My brother enjoys the Super Smash Melee. I'm in. I am in. Did you know that I used to play Smash as well? A lot. I even got one of my friend. Actually, I used to play in the League of Legends team, like a semi-professional one. And during our day off, we had like a whole gaming house in California. So during the whole day off and like people didn't want to play League anymore, I made sure we found a GameCube, we brought some controllers, and me and one of my friends really started playing Smash a lot, like Melee Smash. And he got really good, like a lot better than I would. He mains Falco now, and I used to play Fox. And he got really good at it. Right now he's doing videos for Alex. I don't know what's his name, Alex71, Alex Melee. Where is he? It's like Alex something. I keep forgetting his fucking name. You probably know him. Everybody knows him in the scene. But yeah, it turned out really fun for him, and he actually turned that into a career. Now he's like moving around, and he's playing Smash tournaments, and he's in the scene. We went from almost League of Legends pros. Yeah, Alex19, there it is. Alex19. It's not the best channel out there, but my friend set him up. And he's actively working with these guys. Yep. But I do enjoy watching some Melee. Sometimes I enjoy watching Melee a lot more than I enjoy playing it, simply because, you know, it's a lonely place here in Quebec, so I can't find any locals tournament or any locals practice. So I'm always by myself, like practicing tech with my Fox. And you know, I get by, but I'm definitely not one of the best. So I enjoy watching Melee so much more. It's like people enjoy watching sport, they enjoy watching hockey, that kind of stuff. I just watch some good Melee. Some good Melee is really all I need. Okay, let's figure out why this thing is not actually loading. I'll do something like that so it's a little bit more visible. And that's scene number 2, right? So if I go into a game... Oh, that's bad. I can't load game on its own. Level 2, okay, so this time it loads. If I do level 2 again, it loads. If I do level 1, it loads level 2. So why is that? So we load game, okay. And now in my game scene, which is the one that holds the level loader, it loads it in a additive manner. Yeah, Nova Scotia? I guess it's pretty dead there too. Please change back the button text to the little arrow sign and not the arrow sign. Why? What's the big deal with this one? Doesn't look great? Doesn't change much. Like that's never the final UI. If you're using Unity UI for final UI of your game, that's not cool, man. So I'm thinking, since we're not unloading the scene, it never actually leaves memory. Am I wrong? Let's look at the inspector, the hierarchy while this happens. So level 2 is there, okay. The only serial node has a game manager in it, and then we go back. There is 2 game managers, that's the problem right here. Right. So a couple of ways we can beat this. We can create a new scene. Call it preloader. And this one takes care of, well, everything that's before the game starts. So we would have, in this case, loading the levels. If we have additional data, if we need to connect to somewhere, this would be done in there. But in this case, since everything stays local, all we need to do is put the game manager in the preloader. So menus here, game manager, preloader, and we leave it like that. Nothing else but this. We're also going to make sure that in the start, we now load the menu. So the reason I did this is so I can have a game manager in a single place. And now when I start from the preloader, we do... oh, wait, what the fuck is this? Hold on, boys. Oh, there's 2 game manager. Okay, let me remove that. There it is. Okay, back to what I was saying. So when we load the preloader, we only have 1 game manager in there. And if we reload the menu once more, well, it doesn't load the game manager because game manager is part of the preloader scene. And then if we go level 1, I broke my buttons, really? My bad, guys. I'm gonna have to redo this whole thing. Okay. Menu UI. Directly on the canvas again. On the menu UI we have public void. What is it? Oh, load level. So our load level function we had in the game manager. On level button click. This one has a int level index, and then all we do is we call the game manager dot instance dot load or try load level with the level index. I want to get into some gameplay. Let's get rid of this menu thing like it's fast. Okay, so quickly I'm gonna take these 2 buttons, make sure I reference the menu UI. We have the on level button click, that's 1, and finally this one is 2. Okay, now we're back to a working state. Launch the game from the preloader, level 1, that's 1, level 2, that's 2. Now we need some gameplay in there, so I'm wondering, in Skyroads, do we start right away? Or do we wait a little bit? Blah blah blah, start, and then we click on the thing. What happens? Oh, we gotta give it fuel. Okay, so we're gonna start off. We're gonna start off with our character not moving at all. So temporarily I'll just put that here so I have something my character can stand on without falling. And let's see, our player right now is going to be a small cube, so 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. Call a new script player. Oops. I didn't mean to create a network player, we just need a new player script. Help me keeping the chat alive. Hey man, whether the chat is alive or not, we're all doing something right now. But thanks though, really helpful. Okay, so let's call this one player. We are going to have a prefab out of this. By the way, I don't like using box collider. I always love using character controller. You probably know already. Can we steal a spaceship from somewhere? Do you think we can have a spaceship from, say, the asset store or something? Oh, there has to be a free spaceship somewhere, right? Where is the asset store? There it is. Spaceship. Yeah, no, I do enjoy that too. You're right. We should be doing that instead. Modular space. And they're very small and optimized. I love that. I mean, that's gonna work. Why not? Let's go. Let's download this thing. It's gonna make our game look a little bit more pretty. And our project's gonna get a little bit messy though. Oh, no, they put everything into a single folder. I love that. So we're totally changing our mesh. Actually, we're going to remove the mesh from this initial object. Go back to a scaling, like you've mentioned in the chat, and we'll put a child object behind this, or beneath this. So, that's not cool. That's not cool. That's not cool. That's not cool. I want a whole ship. Oh, they made it so... Okay, they made it modular so I can create my own ship, but I don't really care. I wanna... I wanna have something else. There we go. There we go. So I'm opting for 1 or 4. Can you do a future tutorial on Agar.io? Let me check. The thing is, if I want to do like a tutorial on something, you have to like it first. Like, I don't like doing a tutorial on something I'm gonna hate. Yeah, no, I'm not crafting my own ship. I'm gonna use Model 4 or the other one, the small one. So that's gonna be beneath the player prefab. Would be great if it fit this thing. It's gonna be hard to make it fit. So let's go scale this thing down. Oh, actually, that was quite cool. What if we keep it long? What if we keep it like a long boy? It's modular after all, right? We can modify the scale a little bit if we want. No big deal. I'm not crafting my own ship. Screw that. See, I can resize this without it looking too bad. It's a good modular one. So in terms of the collider now, for the collider, we'll need a smaller radius, of course, and to lower the center. So maybe, oh, that's actually not that bad. Minus 0.4. And then I really only want to have these inside, and I don't care so much about the rest. Maybe the tip needs to be important as well. Get good. I'm never gonna get good at Git. Yo man, j'ai vu ta photo et je me demande qu'est-ce qui s'est passé, mais respect, content que tu sois en vie et en santé. Are you gonna review the games? I'm not gonna be reviewing the games on stream, simply because the submission ends at 8 p.m. and I'm usually close to being asleep by then, so my energy level is gonna be quite low. But the submission do end at 8 p.m. so if you could please send that over. We have a couple of submission, but we're missing a lot from the predicted amount of people that would join. So hey, you got 8 hours 30 minutes left. Do I model, design, or I just program? I just program. Like, I leave the rest to my my teammates. Let's make this shit a little bit smaller. And the height as well. So we'll keep it that way. And that's gonna be our player for now. So now we're gonna make this thing move, and there's a couple of ways. People like to use rigid body. I fucking hate rigid bodies. So we'll be using a character controller, and then on top of that, we'll be creating our own physics. So do you drink a lot of coffee? I drink 1 coffee every time I stream, and that's it. I never touch coffee if I'm not streaming. Or having a really like weird work day. McDonald's, Burger King, or KFC? How about Tim Hortons? I don't know, man. I fucking ate a lot of those fast foods. I try to go for the healthy option, even though, you know, I cheat most of the time. So let's have a update loop for our player, private void update, and we're gonna store first the inputs. We need the inputs of the player, so let's put that in a vector 3. Initiate it at a 0, so vector 3.0, and then inputs.x is gonna be a get axis on the horizontal. Same thing for vertical, but this one affects the z. Does it affect the z component? Actually, we only have left and right. We don't have anything else. There's no. Well, there's up and down through jumping, and that's it. We don't have a forward and backward. Oh, we do have the fuel. You're right. Okay, so you're right. I know why I say you're right. But we do have the fuel, so let's keep vertical in there. And then inputs dot y, we could say get raw, and then we'll use jump in there. Does that work? No, that's not gonna work. Input get key down, get key down, and then we'll do key code space. And if we press on space, so that's going to be a condition, right? So if we do press on space, let's go ahead and give us 1, else 0. What game are you the most proud that you've made? None. They're all quite bad. Agario should be kinda easy. Do you like strategy games? If yes, turn-based or not, I don't play strategy game. I'm sorry. But I would say no, I don't like... Actually, I played StarCraft a bit, so I don't like the turn-based one. I like the action-based one. Everybody keep asking me what's the best game I have programmed. Nothing. I'll be honest. Like I haven't done anything fun, which is why I'm rushing to get this Overwatch thing out, so I can say, hey, at least I did something that looks like Overwatch and that's fun. Because most of my projects I start, I really never finish them. I'm more of a research guy. Okay, so we got our inputs. We can move our character controller around. Let's actually give ourselves an instance of that. So character controller, and say this one is equal to a get component type of character controller, and then say controller move, and we're gonna move by the inputs times the speed, blah blah blah, and so on. So we're moving by inputs times speed times time the delta time. A couple of things we need to change. First, we need the speed value. Could be another float. I'm starting to enjoy putting everything on the same line, to be honest, so let's do that. Speed up safe. Oh, speed is going to depend on your fuel, so that again we have to change. Yep, never mind what I just done. Fuel slash throttle. I don't know how to write that properly. Let me Google it. Hey, I got it right. Oh, move vector is already here. I'll take that instead. So move vector.x is going to be my input, so I'll copy that from input.x. Now move vector.z is going to be based off my vertical velocity. That animation can be skipped if you want to make a game in a day. It's just eye candy. Yep. Will you implement a multiplayer system or Overwatch clone? I'm assuming, am I going to implement a multiplayer system in the Overwatch clone? We are going to start by having every single hero work, and then we'll see if our structure is suitable for multiplayer. But we do think about it, and we're trying to build a multiplayer. I keep saying we. We're trying to build a multiplayer structure on the side, so we're doing two things at once. Did you earn any money on the play market? Yep, about $5, I think. I don't know, I haven't claimed it yet. Okay, now in terms of the Z, Z is up and down. It's like the throttle, right? So throttle. We're gonna have to change that. So if, actually, let's do throttle plus equal inputs dot z times acceleration. Private float acceleration. So every single second you could gain a meter a second. That sounds okay for now. Of course, you always do the time the delta time, making sure you don't mess that up. And then finally, we replace move vector to z by the throttle. Oh, okay. I shouldn't really multiply that here. I keep it for down there. Okay, let's try moving left and right. See if it works. Actually, up and down. That's what I meant. So player has my player script on it. Seems to be working just fine. We got left and right. And we got a weird behavior for the throttle. So I'm holding, right? I'm holding and then it stops. So the reason it stops is because we do throttle plus equal. I would expect this one to go up all the time though. It's like, okay, so it's equal to 0 at first. Then we do 0 plus equal to the inputs, which is going to give us a 1 in this case, if we hold it. Then why is it going back? Let me put that on public so I can have a look at the value and what happens to it. So is it actually possible to earn that $100? What do you think about it? It's possible and it's easy. You just need to be smart about it, but no, it is. Oh, it's really possible. So I'm seeing here that my throttle is at 25, however, I am not. Oh, okay, so my throttle is at 25, but the reason it changes is because my inputs.z here is on 0, so no, that doesn't work. What am I on about? I'm modifying this. Okay, so I'm moving this with input and not move vector. Crap. The difficult thing is getting games big on the Play Store because it is a overcrowded market. No, that's a good point. And if you're gonna release a game that's bad, you're just adding up to the problem. So it's really hard to stand out. So you have to start appealing to a small audience first. First line in update. Yeah, yeah. So if we just kept the inputs, it would be the first line in update. Right now, I realize that it's because my move vector is never actually set properly. Oh, by the way, is equal to move vector is equal to vector3 at 0. So we reset both of them at first. You need to make a good game? Yep, I'm on it, man. I'm on it. That's also what I told myself. Yee, boy. Okay, so we do get something working here, left and right. Works, up and down. Of course, now we need to limit the throttle, right? Because we can go at infinite amount of speed, and that's a bit crazy. So we're going to limit the throttle by clamping it in between two values. Throttle is equal to matf clamp. We're clamping in between value 0 and max speed. What is max speed, you say? I don't know either. Let's put that on maximum 5? Is that, yeah, that's too slow, right? 7.5? And that's my max speed. And just like in the real game, you can't go backwards. So I'm clamped on 0 right now. I can do a full stop, but I can't go back. Now the acceleration is a little bit too fast. We want to be a lot slower than that. So let's do 0.5. So our input has 2 seconds to gain meter. Is that how it works? Nah. Let's have a look. A lot slower. It has to be a lot slower. So take out line 22. I don't remember what I had here. Oh, I think this line here was line 22. Yeah, no, I have to reset my input every time. And my move vector, it's just another way to go about it, but it would have worked if we did use input at the end. Okay, so it's a lot slower now. Left and right. Way too slow for the left and right. So we'll put sideways speed. Side speed could be, I don't know, up to 3 times what it is right now. What's your goal with the Overwatch? Goal with Overwatch is simply having all the characters that are fun to play. Like I might skip some, such as like Zenyatta doesn't really have anything, right? Doesn't really have anything fun moving wise, so I might skip him. But like heroes like Genji, the wall run on it, the double jump, the Winston jump, the grappling hook, the Doomfist. I want to have all of that working at least in a client environment, like in a local environment, so people can decide, hey, I'm gonna make this platformer game and I'll be using Genji's control or Winston's control, and then build their own champions. It's gonna be easy to build their own champion once they see we implemented all the other champions. You could say, hey, I'm gonna build this character that can hook on walls and also wall run. So they'll be combining, say, Widowmaker abilities with Genji's ability, and they'll be able to make something fun for their game. And everything is open source, so everything can be found down below. And I'm not the best, like I'm not a super programmer, so everything is open source. If any mistake is pointed out, first I will be happy to correct it, because I'll get better as a programmer on my own, and I'll also be really happy that the machine improves. Okay, so we got up down, we got left right, we got forward backward, I believe. And I'm gonna be removing the little buffering here. There's like a little buffer that happens, some kind of input acceleration. Instead, I'll be using a get axis raw. So get raw axis horizontal. Same thing for vertical. I don't want that. Actually, no, this is good. Yeah, this is good. So Threadbox says, instead of clamping the Z from 0 to max, you can add a minimum value, so you must go forward. I don't remember how it was in the real game. Like, can you actually come to a full... I think you can come to a full stop. I'm really wondering, can you come to a full stop in the game? If that's the case, then we're gonna leave it... Yeah, no. I mean, look at the speed, right? So if you put your speed on 0, you'll be fine. You can actually stop the machine completely. What the hell is this guy? He clears a game in 12 minutes? Yeah, that's good. Oh, and there's a whole fuel thing we need to do as well. Okay, so now the y. So move vector.y is always equal to vertical velocity. Now, this number goes up and down depending on whether or not we're grounded. And I'm gonna cheat, right? I don't want to spend an hour creating this because I've been doing it for so long. I will go in our state machine and grab that from somewhere else. No need to recreate a very long and annoying algorithm. I just realized I could have just went in there instead of opening the whole Unity project. That's too late now. Jamie says, you see my question? I don't remember. So the game has an effect that looks that the road appears out of thin. Okay, so I'm gonna try and read this. The game has that effect that looks that the road appears out of thin. Are you gonna do that? Are you gonna... Man. Okay. Yes, I'll be doing that effect. I know what you're talking about. I'll be doing that. So what I'm taking here is my grounded function to know whether or not I'm on the floor. And that's gonna be useful in here as well. I might not... Oh crap, did I just close it without copying it properly? That always happens, man. So annoying. Script, motor, phase motor, open in Sublime, grounded. Okay, so let's see. That should be okay. We're gonna cast a ray right there in the middle. The distance, what is the distance I've put? .5, let's use that, yeah. I don't need the slope threshold. We're not going to be looking at whether or not we're on the slope. So let's remove that and only do a return of this thing. Okay, so we're going to return with a middle ray. And I think that's it. I don't think we need to do any other rays. Hey, our very long line is now here. So let's see, make a turbo boost option. I don't know what that means. When do variable name change? When do variable name change to being named as m underscore variable name instead of just variable name? It depends. It depends on which kind of naming convention you want to use, depending on where you worked before and what other people adopt around you, what you decide to adopt yourself. I personally don't do this naming scheme, so I'm not gonna go say not here. That doesn't work here. I'm not gonna go up here and say private float my speed. I don't do that. It's just a matter of whether or not, you know, whether you like it or not. It's on you, man. Okay, so we have this grounded function that checks whether or not we're on the floor. Now what I'll do is, if we are on the floor, so if grounded, then if we are on the floor, vertical velocity is going to equal to 0. And if we're not on the floor, we're going to be decreasing it every frame. So vertical velocity minus equal gravity. And we also need the gravity float. So private float gravity is going to be equal to, say, I don't know what I usually put, maybe 21. Okay, if we are grounded, then we need to have an option to jump or not. So we know if we're jumping depending on this value. So if input.y is equal to 1, that means we press on space. So if inputs.y is equal to 1, that's a jump right here. So jump input was press. At this point we can say vertical velocity is equal to our jump force. How high do we jump? Again, a value we don't have. Let's put that on 7. Sounds like a good value. And here we go. Let's give this a try. It's gonna be awful, I can bet. Alright, well, we have something here. We can fall, we can die. Maximize on play or not. And you go forward, you try to dodge stuff. And here we go. We are going to need a camera that doesn't suck. Now, making a camera that doesn't suck is actually quite hard, especially in that case. Let's see what specifics they have. So they have a simple follow cam. It always stays in the center. It doesn't follow the player left and right, so we don't need to attach it fully. It's just a cam that goes forward. We only follow X and we only follow Z. Actually, we only follow Z. We don't follow X either. Alright, well, it's a Z follow cam. The bottom of the stream still says you're making Widow. Yeah, I mean, I can change that in a moment. Thanks for pointing it out. I'll just leave this to challenge ends at 8 PM. let's do a follow camera. As always, we're working with a camera, so we want to be in the late update, making sure our player moves first, and simply have a look at, in this case, a public transform look at, in that case, the player. And our transform dot position is going to be equal to look, actually, new vector 3. X is on 0. Y is on 0 or maybe 5 or something like that. We'll make that public too. So public vector 3 offset. New vector 3 offset.x, offset.y, and then offset.z plus look at .position.z. All we need to do, my friends. So fall out of the map, you or run out of fuel. How do you die in that game? You either fall off the map, you run into a wall, or you run out of fuel. In all the cases, you explode. Have you ever used any technique to memory improvement? Nope. Maybe the memory palace thing. Yeah, no, I did use a memory palace. Instead of many rays, you can do one sphere cast. That's actually quite a good option. I think I could change a lot of my existing code to that. Add the camera to the player and freeze the X and Y position. Maybe that will help. That's exactly what we're doing through code. Do you use fuel while jumping? I don't think you are actually. I think fuel goes down based off your throttle, and that's it. So camera, main camera is here. Let's put the follow cam on it, and this is it right here. So if I press on play in this scene without loading anything, we're first gonna have a crash. Oh, we're crashing and we're being sent back to the other scene. Okay, then. We are going to have a look. Because we want to have the offset as well, so what could be the proper offset to have in this case, assuming we are playing a 16:9. In this game, like, the perspective is done in such a way that he's right in the center of the screen. And he's not that far away, so maybe 2.5 can do the job. And then we'll just go a little bit higher, so 2.5. Oops, no. Lower. Seems like they have a slight angle as well in Y, no, in Z, in X. We're gonna try them all. Maybe something could work. Again, it's a little bit too close. Okay, so 1 and then -3. Let's keep them simple. 1 and -3. That's my offset. 1, -3, and then we just follow the player around. No fuel, the ship is going to explode. That's logic in that game. One issue I have right now is the fact that, well, first, the values are all off, and we can move while jumping. That's one of the big difficulty of the game, is that you can't move while jumping, so we have to reproduce that too. And the side speed is not fast enough, I believe. I'll go grab some more water real quick. Hey, I have returned. Right. So, we have camera, we have some inputs. Inputs are not perfect just yet. I'll go fix that right now. So we don't want to be affecting left or right if we are in the middle of the air. Through inputs. We want to keep the last velocity, however, so here's what we'll be doing. If we are grounded, we're going to allow ourselves to have velocity, so, hey, thank you, I am back, yes. So what if I do this? What if I put this move vector.x? Oh no, it's gonna go back to 0 after that. Okay. Maybe if I don't reset it to 0? Because anyway, in all the cases I always assign the x, the y, and the z. Now I'm just not going to reassign the x if we are not in the air. Oh. If we are in the air, I will not reassign it. That's what I'm saying. It's hard to speak for so long, to be honest. Yeah, no, it's actually right there. That's the control right here. So I dropped and it still went in that direction. So we have the control pretty much ready. One of the big issues is that we don't die. That's a really bad issue. We gotta make sure that we can actually die. There's a couple of ways to do it. We can run into a wall, so we're gonna have a we're gonna create a wall in here. I don't know what I'm listening to, but I don't like it. I want to put some of my usual playlists, but I can't because YouTube's gonna kill me. Last time I did a stream, I had a total of 21 copyright strike, but they're all from a nice guy that won't hit my channel, so quite happy about that. So what could we do here? Let's see. We have to check for collision, but the one that are in front of us, like this one. There is a nice thing in the controller, character controller, called on controller collider hit. Private void, let's try. On controller collider hit, and it takes this parameter. However, this is going to be called every single frame because we're on the floor, right? So if we do a debug.log hit, this is what happens. Oh, what is this? Oh crap, my meeting. Okay, my meeting got delayed until 2:30. That's almost a good thing. Right. So this will be called every frame since we're always hitting the floor. And now I don't want to go around start tagging walls as walls because that's just noob work. That's just bad work. So we'll be using something a little bit more advanced called collision flags. I think we can use collision flags. You see the floor keeps being called all the time. Don't want that. Right. So I'll be creating a field here called collision flag. And this one, you can get it when you move the controller. So I think .move returns a collision flag. You can say flags equal controller.move. And we'll do if flags is equal to, no, actually, if flag contains, how do I make it so it contains? If it contains a flag where it collides on the sides, then we're gonna go ahead and do the whole def function. So private void def. Which is right now just gonna return us the menu. So let's do game manager.instance, or actually scene manager. We are loading menu once more. And that's only if we collide on the sides. We can put that in an invoke later on with a nice animation. Hey, we hit the sides, we get thrown away. Now, in the game, if you also hit those little borders like down there, you also die, so that's good. Ooh, that was close. Alright, that's it right here. We will do, you're right, we're gonna do a collide with a sphere cast, because I saw something like here. That's not cool. We'll do a full sphere cast on that. Physics sphere cast. Now, what parameter does it take? It takes in a ray. Okay, I think we can use array. We already use array anyway. Origin radius. Radius is going to be, in this case, controller dot radius. And can we keep the rest? I think we can keep the rest of the value. That's fine. And now we're not considered as falling when here. That's okay, that's good. Might be a little bit too big, but it is good. This is based off the radius of the controller. We also need something to kill our player if he goes below a certain level, or if he touch like a death plane. So I don't really know how deep it is in the real game, but we'll create one here called the plane, which should be a plane actually. Make it wide and make it long. It could also just be following the player around. Or take the whole field. One of the two. I'll be adding a tag to this thing. It's gonna be called def plane. And we'll be putting it at say -2. Sounds fair. We're never really gonna go below that level, so let's use that. So if we collide on the sides or hit that tag, hit the transform that tag is equal to def plane, then we're gonna go ahead and die. So to test this out, I'll be heading over to the freeloader once more, and if we touch that def plane, we are gonna restart the level. Oh, it didn't work. Why is that? Def plane is untagged. Okay, sure. Yeah, we could also check if the player is lower than a certain threshold, it dies. We can say if the player transformed the position .y is smaller than 2, we die. But we can also do it this way that I just did right now. And why is it not working again? It's tagged as the plane. It's so, yeah, no, it does make sense. I'm not sure why it's not loading. Let's do debug.log hit dot transform dot tag. I just want to see what it says really. Untagged. It says my thing is untagged. But I see it as a tag. Maybe it's looking at my object? Let's read a little bit of the chat. We might go ahead and check if it's lower than a certain threshold. If your plane only moves left right, then the def plane only need to be as long as the plane. Yeah, but the thing is, we go forward in the level, and I don't want to attach that to my player. We could create a the same thing we did for the camera. We could only follow the player on that. Size, you're checking for the size. Yeah, I am. I'm checking for the size, so when we enter collision with the wall forward, but I also do a OR statement. So I check OR if the collider transform.tag is the plane. So I'm wondering exactly, like, what do I get out of this? Like, hit the transform. Who's hit the transform in that case? I'm new to Unity and your video helped me a lot. It's easy to understand. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thank you for the comment. Hey, what am I making? I'm making a old game, really old game that was live in the in 1993. So here's the thing, I'm actually not getting anything out of it. The collider I meant. So if I jump here and I fall on this thing, we don't actually see any debug.log happening. So why is there no collision on this thing? Is what I'm wondering. Well, there is, but like, why is it not triggering anything? Oh, maybe I'm stopping. Yeah, I'm just gonna check with the wipe boss, to be honest. And screw that dead plane. It looked ugly anyway. Let's do a depth check after moving. So if transform position.y is smaller than 2, than -2, then we're gonna go ahead and die. Rest in pieces of pepperonis. Remove this the plane and run this once more, see if we do explode. Yep. And then if we run level 2, that's a different level. We go forward, we run into the wall. That happens too. And I just realized, okay, I think that's why a lot of bugs happens. We have a raycast that is way too long for the ground checking. The sphere cast is actually way too long. What shall we do here? Since we're not using a raycast anymore, I can't just go and do the same thing. What if I use this? Just popping to say I love you. What's up, Scrub? What is good? Thanks, man. You guys see what's happening here? We have our sphere, right? And we're casting downward. Right now he thinks we're grounded, and that's totally normal, because if we put another sphere beneath that, we are technically grounded. But we don't want it to happen. We don't want that to happen at all. The sphere is too big. There's another way to cheat this, and I will be doing that thing right now. So I'll be taking my my method from earlier, grounded, and here's what I'll do. I'm gonna wipe everything in here, go back to what we had a second ago. So keep this, keep that. We're gonna keep the middle one, so everything here. But we're also gonna keep left and right. So we have front, right, and also front, left. Do you want to keep it in the front or in the back? I just want to have left and right. So technically, can I just... Yep, I'm just gonna take the center and Z. And remove that part. So that's gonna give me right. And then left is the same deal. That's so annoying. There we go. And the reason I'm not doing it in a single line is because in case this is false, I don't want to return false. So I gotta put that in between brackets and then say return through, and our false happens here. So we went from one raycast to one sphere cast to 3 different raycasts, but only one of them is going to be returning. So in case we are hitting the raycast in the middle, then we stop there. That's only one raycast in memory. In case we're not hitting the middle, that means, okay, well, let's check right. If we are, then that's fine, we can stop here. And if we're not, then let's check left. And if we're not on left, then just return false. That's going to be 3 raycasts saying that we're not on the floor. And it should be enough to have everything working. Let's see. So our problem is a little bit less obvious. And if we stand like that, we can still be in the air. Alright, that's fine. And then we fall off. Of course, we might want to make the radius a little bit smaller, so this does not happen, because technically we should be falling right now, right? I'm gonna go in the game and change that to say say we only keep like the big body parts over there. Okay, that's it. We made it. Jumping part's still a bit weird, okay. Why is it so weird? I wonder if the raycast is being sent. Yeah, okay. So we start from center, we reduce that by the height. Divided by 2. So the center minus the height divided by 2, that gives you the bottom, and then we'll go up by 0.3. And then we cast the ray for 0.5, so that's a little bit too big. Let's do 1.5. So the actual distance of our ray is actually going to be 0.15. I think that's a bit too small. Yeah, it doesn't know right now that it's grounded, so we'll have to bump that up. Still don't know it's grounded. We gotta make sure we don't have any of those glitches. So I'm trying to wonder, like, I'm wondering why it is that sometimes he says, well, I'm grounded. Once in a while, he's just gonna do that. So maybe it is because he collides with himself, since the player is actually casting a ray. The player is casting a ray on the player modal, I think, is what's happening. So I'm gonna head over to the game, make sure my player is on ignore raycast, and see if I do get the same problem. I'll make sure to apply that to the children as well. So I don't seem to get that problem, and I'm lagging a lot for some reason. No, that seems great actually. Those controls are actually quite simple to do. Now, a lot of it has to be done through balancing. Like, we have to balance a lot of that, especially the throttle, like how fast we go up in speed, and also the level. The level are kind of bad right now, of course. But most of it is done. I'll be putting the def function on some kind of not timeout, but I'll put that on an invoke, and we're gonna cast the animation when we die, and then we'll change scenes back to what it should be. So let's do that right now. I'm gonna head over to... Oh wait, what's this? Oh, okay. I'm gonna head over to the def function. Here we're gonna do cast def particles, and we'll do an invoke on this. So invoke method name. For my method name, I wonder if I can just do this. Yeah, I don't think I can just do that. I don't think it's gonna let me do something stupid like that. Okay, well, let's create another method. To menu again, but this one is from the player, so we'll simply do this call, and we will be putting it here. So we're invoking to menu, the function. It has to be in a string. Okay then. And we're invoking it in 1 second. So how long is going to be our animation for? We could do, let's give it a 3 seconds maybe. We also need to cast def particles. So at that point, the player should not be able to move anymore. So I'll be stopping all inputs from him through a boolean. It's called is alive is equal to true by default. And then in the update loop, if is alive is false, let's just return right away. If def occurs, is alive is now equal to false. We can hide the player modal. We can do that. Let's do a get component type of renderer. And visible is visible. Yep. Oh no, that's a get only, so we can't set it. How do we hide this? There has to be some kind of way, like, to turn it off, like off or active. Oh, enabled. I remember it. Enable is equal to false. Now, for the particles, I'm going to keep a public game object. That's gonna be my particle, no, def particles, and we'll just instantiate it where the player is at the moment. So in this case, when he dies, I'll say def particle. No, actually, I say instantiate def particles. The transform parent. Okay, so we could be putting that under the player, and the ship would keep on falling, but we could have like an initial burst of explosion. Yeah, that's actually quite... that's not too bad. I'll remove this line. And I'll do transform instead. There you go. My net is very slow, so I have to get back later. Hey, but thank you, man. Thank you for tuning in. Let's keep in touch on Discord. The best place to keep in touch. By the way, let me boot Discord, see what's going on. Oh, Fluff is not streaming today. Okay. Okay. Need a depth particle prefab. I'm gonna try and make something look good. A particle system. I predict that I will fail. See, I can't even find it. Wow, those are some amazing texture. So, okay, so I need to do a depth particle on this. We have 3 seconds. So this can't be looping. It has to be a big burst at first. There's no start delay, there's no blah blah blah, none of that. I just want to have emission and a burst of emission at 0 count. We could do 100. No interval. Can I preview this? Okay, so something like that, but of course in the right angles. Kind of want this to loop, just for testing purpose. And it takes 3 seconds. Okay. We will be pushing that in a sphere. It has to be a burst, so we see a nice burst over here. I want to have a burst with velocity over time. Velocity that fades over time. In terms of materials, we don't have so much we can put in there. I want to have the default particle, so this one could be the could do the job for now. We're currently shooting billboards. They're hard to see with the new the new line there, but it looks something like that. Technically, we're already falling with the player, so I don't need to put the force over lifetime. Let's keep that on 0. Maybe like -1 in force. Color over lifetime is always useful because you need to start with a strong burst color, and then the reason it's useful is so at the end here you can actually cut the transparency so they fade out instead of just disappearing. They just fade out in color. Size over lifetime, okay, you can start very big and then go into a smaller. So the opposite of that. And I think I'll go back and put some gravity on it. Hey, good morning. What processor do I have? What processor do I have? That's a good question. I don't know myself. It's a it's Intel 7. It's a i7 3.4, I think, I believe. 3.6, okay, it's better than I expected. It's not old gen, but it's a little bit updated. I'm starting to see the end of this computer, like, slowly. It's starting to fail me a couple of times. Hey, what the hell is this, and who had the trails? This is actually quite cool. Ah, this is actually quite cool. Do I have a processor? Yes, you do have a processor. I am sure of it. And so how do I add, I need to add a, oh, trail material, here it is. So I gotta add something to this thing. Actually, that's quite cool. It looks weird, but it's actually fun to look at as well. Let's see. I can have different color over lifetime. Alright, okay, color over trail. That's an orange, right? This is so ugly, I love it. Okay, it's really not fast enough for some kind of like explosion, so I'm looking at color by speed. Nope. We want to be adding speed. Start speed, here it is. Okay, and they're gonna fall off in speed because that's going way too far. So how do we slow them? Okay, velocity over lifetime, that's it, I think. Bo -bo -bo -bo. And we're gonna drop the emission to maybe 50. Okay, that's our alpha death particles. That's cool. That's actually quite bad. And we can put that in the player game object. He'll be the one that creates his own death particle. So let's run this thing. So technically we should have a little bit of cooldown now when we die, and then we have an explosion. So that was so bad, I enjoyed it. And same thing if we die there. Okay, well definitely we have a problem with the size, but yeah, that's great, mate. That's very great. So okay, so start speed, bit too fast. Go back here. Lifetime can stay the same. Start size, let's put that on 0.25. That was way too big. Now velocity over lifetime. So I'm thinking they're still going too far. Lifetime has to be maybe 1 second? Yeah, something like that. Okay, let's hit apply and see what happens now when we run this. Alright, so we gotta stop the rate that happens after. We keep the rate that happens during. So if we head to death particle once more for the final time, the emission over time is 0, so we don't want to have any emission over time. We just want to have the burst. and that's it. Hit apply, and we good to go. Yeah, computer runs on brainwave. That's a good good explanation. Okay, it looks bad. It's in place, so we can die there. And then we, what happens then is that we get thrown inside of a invoke state that lasts 3 seconds. Let's put that on 2. And I'll go back to removing the renderer. Oh, there's no renderer. Oh yeah, there's no renderer attached to game object, that's right. The renderer is actually attached to the object below it, so transform get child. Actually, you know what? Get component in children can also do the job. How do you know how to program in C++? I know how to do it. It's gonna take me a little while to get back into it. But it's not my cup of tea. Like I'm not the best, and I'm nowhere near employment level, we could call it. It didn't actually. Whoa! It didn't turn off my player. Why though? I jumped over it again. Okay, so I'm not sure why it didn't turn off my player. Oh, probably because it has a couple. Yeah, player has a couple of models. So it might have turned off like the body, this one. And turns out there's a body beneath the body as well. Okay. That's odd. We can simply say transform get child. We're gonna get child at the first index. And this one's gonna be game object set active false. So instead of turning off the renderer just to not show the mesh, we're going to turn off the whole children, which is not the script, is this thing. As the whole thing, the whole model basically. I'm really running out of voice. Like I'm going to cut this stream soon, but like it's ugly, but it works and it feels the same exact way as in the game, the real game. Maybe not in terms of like the values. Maybe we could change a couple of things. But that's literally the game I played when I was young. That's Skyroads. Now, designing level is a whole other story. Designing level isn't really cool in that case. But the rest is just, as mentioned, is just eye candy. And also creating some kind of structure that's going to allow us to load all the levels one by one with, say, a thumbnail. We've done that in the past using our mobile game tutorial, but I'm actually going to take a break. Does anybody want these files? If anybody wants these files, I can put them online. I don't really feel like putting them on my Git though, because it's a little bit odd, and I'm using somebody else's asset, so I can't really redistribute that. But I'll send them directly to you now if you want. I'll put that in Discord actually. Put that in the chill. And it's gonna be as a, oh, I put that in a RAR file. Let me put that in a 7-zip instead. Send to zip file. Maybe 1 hour 30 minutes. It's in the chill version. Ah, fuck. We can't do that. It's more than 50 meg. Okay, well, I'll put it on my GitLab. I just need to find a proper git ignore for it. Let's see. Okay, so we are technically in my desktop, cd Skyroad. And we're gonna make file using nmake f.gitignore. Nmake doesn't exist. Crap. I actually don't know how to make files in Bash. I know how to make a folder, not a file. Let's use source tree. Yep. Okay, cool. Now on to finding a proper git ignore for Unity. So it doesn't look like they took any library. We got the project settings. Okay, we're gonna push that. So I've commented that. Now I need to push, and to push we need a project, of course, so GitLab. Yeah, Subway Surfer is not available on the website because it's not available anywhere right now. I don't know how to say that because I don't want to really put that in my GitLab, you know? So I'll just say something like fast implementation of the Skyroad's controls. Create. Okay, cool, we got a remote. Wait, didn't I put a remote? Git remote add master. Okay. Git push master. Right. So it's there. It's on GitLab. I'm not so proud of it because it's not like something I should have pushed, but it's still done. So the link is here if you guys want to download it. Could you do some graphic design tutorial, because I have the coding sorted, but I'm not that good at graphic designs. I'm hoping we can do some as soon as Fluff gets here. Should be a month. I'm not saying that in a month exactly we're gonna do graphic design, but everything art needs to be tackled like soon. So I'm really counting on her a little bit to have help on that, and if not, I'll end up making it myself. Thing is, I might not be the best. I'll just show you what I learned at the same time I learn it, basically, just like I do with programmation. Alright, I'm gonna take a break simply because I have no voice anymore and I have to get ready for this meeting, even though it got delayed a bit. But I am quite happy you guys tuned in this morning. We got a little bit of thing done. We have the state machine pushed, so that can also be downloaded again from the GitLab. And I think that's it. Let me check something. Yeah, so our state machine is in a good state right now. I've got all the states running at the top left. And we have our hook. That is now on a very small cooldown. Oh yeah, we also have the little state. You know, this state at the end that gets me on top of the square. If I cast it, say, a little bit below. Ah, it didn't get me on top. Crap. I might have to tweak the values a little bit, but it does it usually. It gives me a nice little bump in vertical velocity, and also a little bump towards that while normal. We had it there, but it's very, very subtle. Should be enough though. Alright guys, thank you so much, and I will catch you probably next week. I like to stream in the middle of the week, not so much on the weekend because I usually have a lot of things to do. Yeah, so again, catch you guys on Discord. You got about 7 hours left for the challenge, and I will be I'll be monitoring that tonight, so goodbye. Peace.